Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Godlike Jesters. I'm James.
And I'm Sandro, and today we're going to introduce one of my friends. He's also got a girlfriend, just like James. Mr. Dane Vear.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Hi, Dane, how are you? How are you?
Man. How are you? Yeah, good, man. Looking forward to getting going on here. It's a new thing for me.
Yeah.
This.
So today we're going to be talking about Halfthor, Bjornsson, and Eddie Hall. And what's your thoughts on it? They all, as you know already, they're going to be fighting. Who do you think is going to win that?
I'd say I'd like to see Eddie Hall. I'd like to see it, but I don't reckon. For starters, I don't reckon it'd happen. But
What, the fight?
I don't reckon it will.
Apparently, Eddie Hall's signed his thing.
Halfthor signed it, and Eddie Hall said he will sign it.
No, apparently he signed it now.
Has he?
And send it off, yeah. That's what I've read today. He signed it. He's ready to go. He put out a thing, a video the other day saying he's going to rip his head off. I think he'll do it, you know.
I can't wait for this. It's literally going to be the Mountain versus the Beast. It's a clash of titans. We have
Battle of the Gods.
We literally have the two strongest men in the world who are going to beat the shit out of each other. I mean, this is the stuff that legends are made of. This is like, in my mind, it's like you hear like David versus Goliath and stuff like last for generations. You have the fight
Goliath versus Goliath.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, think about when was the last time you had physically the two strongest men in the world actually fight and kick the shit out of each other?
I can't recall.
This is literally like I feel like this is a once in a lifetime thing for us. We are going to be witnesses to history here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, it'd be entertaining. The paper, I tell you what, if that's pay-per-view, the figures that'll bring in people. Because you'll get household people, like people who are not fans of like combat sports or weightlifting, like anything like that. They're gonna be like, "Oh my god, look at the size of these two people."
Yeah.
There you go. You've got viewership already there, and people are gonna have the Game of Thrones thing.
That's what I was about to say.
You're gonna have that. You're gonna have two worlds like doing that, and the audience you're gonna get for this is gonna be ridiculous. So the money involved,
it's gonna be mental. Well, Halfthor's 6'9", and Eddie Hall's 6'3", and they're both in like the 200 kilo weight category. The massive monsters of men.
I've got it on here. Like Eddie Hall current weight right now is 164 kilos, and I think you told me that Halfthor is 205 at the moment.
I think he's 205.
And it's just like going back to what Dane said. I actually massively agree because you've got the weightlifting fans in this, you've got the fighting fans being brought into this, and because of Halfthor being the Mountain in Game of Thrones, you have him bringing a third audience potentially into this whole thing.
They're going to be people. They're going to be parents and stuff that have never like, oh, guilty pleasure watching a bit of Game of Thrones on a night. Like them, all of a sudden, going to start watching. They're going to pay the 28 quid or whatever it's going to cost for the pay-per-view to watch this fight just because the Mountain out of Game of Thrones.
All I want to say is, Sandro, if we're watching this at yours, for fuck's sake, calm down. Try not to destroy the TiVo again.
As long as it works, I think everyone's safe. But
we're missing it. You're missing it.
Well, the thing is, though, we'll know when this one's on because we'll feel the ground shake with every blow.
But right, I was talking with Sandro about this a little bit yesterday when it was all announced and stuff, and we were saying like, who would you rather take a hit off of? Because you've got Deontay Wilder, who's like boxing, hardest punching thing. Maybe not the best boxer, but he's got the hardest punch. Now you've got two of the world's strongest men, two of the world's biggest men, like who can throw insane power, who have trained a little bit. We don't know how much of them, but we know they've done a little bit of fighting. Who would you rather take it off? Deontay Wilder, the Mountain, or the Beast? Like Halfthor, Bjornsson, or Eddie Hall?
I think it works different ways though. I think whenever people bring up conversations like this, or like who'd win these versus that, or who's a better boxer, for instance.
Yeah.
No, it's literally case of who would you rather want to take a hit from?
This,
If
I mean,
you were
I
just
think it
stood there and
depends
get a whack off one of
on
them.
in what sense do you get a point. If you're stood straight, like stood still in front of them, each one of those, I'd probably rather get hit. Sounds stupid, by like Eddie Hall. I think he looks.
I said this yesterday.
I think he looks the least. I'm not saying he's not an athlete. The least athletic, physique-wise, so that I think the punch would be less clean. It'd be less technical.
Have you seen him now?
I know,
he's like ripped to hell.
But I think the punch would be less technical. Whereas I think Deontay Wilder will have the best punch, and Halfthor will have the most weight. Whereas, so I'd rather take it off Eddie Hall at the moment.
This is the thing,
rather than any of the others.
Me and Sandro, we sort of came to this conclusion though yesterday. It's like Deontay Wilder punches you. There's a strong chance you will survive and you will probably recover. Eddie Hall and Halfthor throw this punch with the amount of weight they're putting behind it.
We won't have to live to see another day. So
you're getting sent to the next century. You're gone. You won't be there. It's going to be a little like a puddle where you used to be.
Waking up in Shadow Realm, like what's going on?
Exactly.
Another dimension. Like
it's like you're literally looking there, seeing your body on the floor. Like it's gonna be an existential crisis. You're like, oh, shit, I'm dead.
Imagine that, just getting killed in real life by Eddie Hall or Halfthor, coming up like a computer game with that spectate players. Press R1.
Yeah.
See how Sandro and Sam take theirs.
It's like Call of Duty where you've got the kill cam at the end.
Yeah, you're like, oh, sure where that came from.
Yeah.
You'd still be screaming. If it was like Call of Duty, you'd still be screaming like, I hit him first. How? Oh, he's hacking. Oh,
right, so let's rewind this a little bit, and let's give us all a bit of context of where this is all come from, because this whole battle between Eddie Hall and Halfthor Bjornsson, it started back in 2016 when Eddie Hall.
It's 2017.
2017.
Yeah, it started with the whole thing of this.
Let's just go back to the very beginning. So we had Eddie Hall in 2016 pull 500 kilos, a weight that nobody thought was humanly possible. And when you see him pick it up and lift it, you were watching what looked like a man about to die, because blood coming out of his nose, he passes out as soon as he's dropped it.
Yeah, as soon as he puts it down.
It's like he is surpassed what is thought to be physically possible. 2017, we get the world's strongest man, where Halfthor and Eddie start going at each other. Where Eddie Hall wins the world's strongest man versus Halfthor. And there's a lot of controversy about that, which Sandro is going to probably go on to in a minute. And right now what we have Halfthor now beating Eddie's world record, although not officially. He's now pulled 501 kilos. And if you watch the video, he does it with ease. It looks like he could pull 520. It goes up.
Oh, yeah. Well, he said he would lift 520 if he reached a certain amount of subscribers on his YouTube channel, I think it was. Which I think he will struggle with the 520.
Yeah. Yeah, plug in for him.
Yeah, but also subscribe
here. Subscribe here.
Yeah. And ring that bell, Sam. But the whole thing started when Halfthor were doing the Viking press in the 2017 World's Strongest Man. Because he went to do the 15th one, thought he did it, but he didn't get counted. Well, then Eddie Hall went on straight after and did 15 Viking press. Reps of Viking press, and come out at the end of it the winner. So I think Halfthor was saying that it were all a big cheat and it were all this and it were all that, which I think Eddie Hall obviously didn't agree with and went off his head about. And this is where the real kind of challenge begun with them both. And then obviously with Eddie Hall has already admitted, well done Halfthor, well done, but wasn't really a record-breaking thing, was it? Because it wasn't official.
It's not official, but...
But he stated Halfthor was capable of lifting the 500 kilos when Eddie Hall did. And he wasn't... He wants somebody to beat him. He put out, I think it was last year, saying, if you can beat my record, I'll give you 40 grand, I think it was. Go out and do it. He wants to be beaten.
The scary thing, though, is, we saw... the crazy thing is, you got Eddie Hall, 6'3", Halfthor Bjornsson, 6'9". That's a significant distance to pull that weight up. people who aren't familiar in weightlifting and anything like that, the taller you are, the longer the levers are in your body, which makes it harder to lift out and move that weight.
He's also a wider man.
And so this is the thing. So Eddie Hall, more stockier than Halfthor. It's almost like he's more designed to pull that weight physically, but it nearly killed him. You watch it, it looks like it's nearly killed him. Halfthor's pulled that weight and he's made it look easy. And so that, if you take this into the fight, it's like you're looking at Halfthor is coming in with a lot more in that physically, a lot more capable.
Yeah, but as you know, Dane, what do you think about this? You've got a lot more weight shifting around. The bigger you are, the harder it is for you to move around the ring. What do you think?
Yeah, you'll gas quicker. It happens with everything, though. Like, everyone does it. The more you've got to move, the bigger the engine needs to be. And I get that. The Halfthor, to me, he looks more like an athletic specimen than Eddie Hall. I think he'd grasp the fight. I think he'd grasp the fight better than Eddie Hall because of other things as well. Like, you've got to think about it, right? If you're moving all that weight, right, it's one thing to do that. Like, it's so hard to move all that weight about, which is why what you're saying, you're gonna gas. But there's the package that weight's put in as well. At least his weight's evenly distributed. He's not big in one area and thing. He's got more of a thought out frame. So he's designed better to do it, to move gradually around him in and amongst the ring. Whereas I think Eddie Hall's, like you said, shorter, stockier, and is a beast, no doubt. But I don't think that that translates to a. But I don't think that's
the beast.
I don't think that translates to a boxing ring. I don't think that he's going to be able to move from that sport to this sport.
How he shifted all of his weight is through boxing and doing the training with that.
He did gymnastics for a bit, didn't he? He tried to do mild bits of gymnastics and stuff. Have you seen it? Yeah. He's crazy. He can do backflips and stuff.
Thing is,
and he's flexible. And everything with it.
Do splits and everything.
The speed there as well.
The thing is, with Eddie Hall, have you ever watched his documentary?
Yeah.
No. With Eddie Hall's documentary, they were saying his recovery rate, his actual physical recovery rate is actually that of an Olympic athlete. If you put him on the bike, same to full speed on a sprint on the bike and then stop, he recovers as fast as an Olympic athlete.
Well, you've got to think, lifting all that weight that he does, you have to be an athlete. Your heart is going 200 beats a minute at some of them weights. You try trailing a plane behind you. You know what I mean?
We'll see how well you
Your heart would explode, even trying to move it. You have to be in a Olympic level athlete to actually lift them weights that they do. And it's not only lifting. Look at the tire flipping, the dragging the chains, stuff like that. You lift it and you run. You have to be the fastest, the strongest, and the best. And these are these people. I don't think Halfthor has ever won it, has he?
Halfthor won it he won it either 2018, 2019 World's Strongest Man.
Did he win it then? I can't remember now. But I think Brian Shaw's the one now, isn't he? Who was the World's Strongest
Brian Shaw's won it most. Brian Shaw's won it, I think he's won it 4 times.
It's Mariusz Pudzianowski. He's won it the most. He's won it 5 times.
I think Brian Shaw's 4.
To be honest, Pudzianowski shouldn't have even got any of them. He should. He's a juice head. Some of genetic freaks they are. If you looked at Pudzianowski, mate, he roided up to shit. And, well, they tested him. At the end of the day, if you pass your tests, fair enough. He didn't pass his test. After he won the World's Strongest Man, he should have had everything struck off his record. That's how I believe. He's a sham. Shameful.
I won't.
But anyway, we're on about him today.
Thing is,
you've got another video there, boys.
Yeah.
What I find mad though is
juices in sports.
In my experience of lifting, the biggest single deadlift I've pulled is a 240 kg deadlift. And I can say from my experience, I weigh 88 kilos. I think I weighed 90 when I pulled it. It's lifting that weight off the floor, the physical pressure it's putting through your body. And this is literally less than half of what those guys have pulled.
Yeah.
It felt like magnets. It felt like magnets were on the floor when I was trying to get it up, and I felt like I was about to die, and my head was about to
Yeah,
explode.
but you
when I
weigh
got my way up.
88 kilos. They weigh twice as much as you.
I know, but this is what I'm saying. Like the sensation of lifting that, and then you double everything. I physically just can't comprehend what is going through your body when you lift that weight.
Oh man, I wouldn't even want to imagine. Yeah, but even with them that Viking press in the 2017, Eddie Hall, boom, 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 straight out.
For those of you who don't know what a Viking press is, a Viking press is basically it's a type of shoulder press. So it's lifting a weight above your head, essentially like that. That's the layman way of doing it. It's the simple way.
Yeah, Google it. Well,
you don't want them to Google it. You want them to come here for their information, not to Google. You want them to come to this channel for the information.
Most people don't give a shit about training. They just want us to talk crap, and that's what we're doing.
So,
Google the important stuff.
Google the important stuff. Stay here to listen to us talk absolute bollocks.
Yeah, exactly.
Complete nonsense on this channel, guys.
That's why we're the godlike jesters, idiots with bigger opinions of ourselves.
We have got 20 subscribers.
Hey, hey, small steps.
Yeah.
So like, I've got an interesting one then. Like, if you put Halfthor, Eddie Hall in the ring with, like, say, some of the major heavyweights in the boxing era right now, right? Obviously, the major boxers
they'd lose.
Yeah.
I like how
they'd lose. They're too big. They're too slow. Too big. Too slow. They just move away from everything. Have you seen Eddie Hall versus what were it, Conor McGregor?
No, it's Halfthor. That's Halfthor.
Oh, well, Halfthor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, spinning round him and
and he weighs, a fraction of what he does.
170 pounds. 170 pounds.
There you go, fraction, like a quarter of what he Halfthor weighs.
At the time of the video, it'll have been less. It'll have been less than that because 170 is a welter now.
Because in my mind, it's that case of like, if that punch does come and it lands clean from either Halfthor or Eddie,
you'll see it coming a mile away though.
It's game over for any human being.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, there's like big fighters in boxing, like the heaviest ones. Fury, when it came to like Fury Wilder, people are like, Fury's too big against Wilder. But is that a lifetime of training to learn how to shift his that weight in a way that makes him look like Floyd Mayweather? So he knows how to do it. You're going to give these guys 12 months. Doing it. Yeah, you're going to give these guys 12 months now or something to get in a boxing ring and try and translate that figure.
Well, with all these little bits and bats, it looks like they've been training already.
Yeah, it will do against each other. You'll get against one another. You'll get a good contest. But you tell me you're going to put one of them in ring with Fury or Wilder or something. You could put them in against people like Dillian White, Parker, and they'd still lose to me. I think in a boxing match. Yeah, you could go anywhere in the top 10 heavyweights and they'd still lose to me.
Yeah, I agree. They're just too big. But like,
do you reckon it'd be a
Sam
knockout?
Says there.
Nah,
I don't think it'll be a knockout.
Well,
they've dropped weights on them. You flick that keg toss above your head, if that lands on your head, boom, you're out. But getting a clock off a world champion boxer.
You've got to think as well. They'll gas out quicker. Right? But like you said earlier about how much it takes out of that person to lift 500 kilo, whatever it is. Yeah. Like, how much it takes to do that. So Halfthor and Eddie Hall will know what it feels like to spend. They'll have spent more time completely empty than the boxers will have done. Yeah. Yes, 12 rounds will take it out of them, but they've never completely depleted their body. You know what I mean? They've never completely made their body like non-functional. Whereas Eddie Hall and Halfthor have, because yes, they've done it in the like records and stuff to lift that weight, but they'll have tried training wise plenty of times and worked. But so they'll have depleted everything they have. They'll know what it feels like. Their like regeneration will be crazy. So they have that advantage as well.
So they'll go all out in the 3 minutes.
They'll know what it feels like to be completely depleted.
Well, they'll go all out in the 3 minutes in a round, go back in the corner, but when they come back out for the next 3 minutes, they'll be like, 90%, where boxers are only like that 70.
I mean, it's weird for me. It's weird for me to talk because I was here weightlifting, world's strongest man. Who's like, that's completely out of my wheelhouse. I can't pretend to understand what that's like. But from speaking to you two, trying to get a gist of it, I don't think it would completely cross over.
It's honestly, it's like it to me. I feel like it's just this. It's a leap into the unknown. We're about to. I just can't wait to see this Titanic. I just can't wait to see this Titanic clash. I hope it happens within a year. Like, it probably will happen this year, but I hope it happens like 2021, because 2020 right now is a complete write-off. Let's just end that.
Yeah, well, next year should be 2020. We should just like all get a year back of his lives.
It all started with the death of Harambe. Why? Why did they kill that gorilla?
Oh no, we're not on the Harambe thing. Oh. Next we'll be on 5G again.
Well, that last year.
I think Harambe was like 2015 and 2016, wasn't it?
That's what the G stands for in 5G. Gorilla.
The one thing that I'm really ticked off about this year is the fight that me and you were supposed to watch, Dane.
I know what you're on about. You're on about El Kakui and Magomedov. Ferguson.
Yep, Ferguson.
We're
not going to say how many times has that been? How many times has that been put on hold now?
This will be
fifth time.
Fifth, I think.
Do you think it's ever going to happen?
No. No, it won't. I don't think we'll get it ever. I reckon you'll get
back home.
You'll get Ferguson v Justin Gaethje next. That's what you'll get, I reckon. Khabib will probably get stripped before he'd fight and lose that belt. You'll end up with McGregor and Masvidal, which he'll get starched. Then
who's going to get starched? Masvidal or McGregor?
McGregor, I reckon. Oh, Masvidal's one bad person. I don't want to say it, but like I won't say MF, but yeah, he's one bad. Like, I don't see like. I love McGregor absolutely, and I love the sport, and no one wants to see. I want him to win. I love Cowboy Cerrone, but I was so glad that McGregor won that. Like watching him lose
that was
Khabib was heartbreaking. But
did I watch that with you?
He ain't getting past Masvidal.
Did I watch that fight with you?
Yeah.
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 You wake me up. I fell asleep now. You were like, hey,
oh. Yeah. Cerrone v thing was a great fight. Yeah, you'll get Gaethje Ferguson. You won't get Khabib. I reckon he'll vacate the belt. Masvidal.
Even
McGregor.
If he does, I still think them two. That is the fight that everybody wants to see.
That
I just want Ferguson to rip his head off.
I think Ferguson Khabib is what everyone wants to see, and they want to see Woodley versus Kobe Covington, the guy who always walks around in a I don't know if you know, but the MAGA hat guy, Kobe Covington. Yeah. Oh, what a helmet he is! Everyone wants to see him v Woodley. Very good, but yeah, Ferguson, El Kakui, mate. That's what it's about. That's the one fight people care about in MMA. The one fight.
All right,
Ferguson, mate. I just want to see him rip Khabib's head off. That's all the thing I want to see. He's an animal. He's an absolute animal.
I don't know much about like MMA, but it's like Ferguson and Khabib. They're both grapplers, aren't they? They're both floor specialists.
Yeah, Khabib's a wrestler. He's a wrestler, but
he's sambo, and he doesn't.
Yeah, and Kakui Ferguson. He's jiu-jitsu. He's so underrated on the floor because his hands are made of like iron. Like the last 7 people he's fought look like they've been in car crashes. It's disgusting when you look at the damage he's done to people. Like Donald Cerrone, his head will just exploded. Honestly, it looked like some out of a Chucky movie. Like.
Who were the fight that we watched and he ripped his hand apart?
Oh, Pettis, Anthony Pettis. Yeah, he broke
that
his hand.
That was a really good fight. That. Yeah, that was a really good fight.
Great fight. Yeah, but yeah, Ferguson's so underrated on the floor. He's a black belt or double black belt in jiu-jitsu, like Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He's so good.
He could just hit like an hammer.
But that's the thing. Khabib's built to bring it. Khabib's built to take him down, but Ferguson's built to counter whilst they're there. So it's a brilliant fight on the feet.
I think if fight, Ferguson will want to take it to the ground just to destroy him in his own game.
I'd keep it. I reckon you could get that, but if I were him, I'd stay on the floor. Plus, Ferguson's got the best
mental,
cardio in any sport.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Any sport, best cardio on a human being. He's a freak of nature.
He'll go hell for leather,
of
and then he'll go
nature.
into his corner and just growl at him, and he'll be like, "I'm ready, I'm ready."
I'm gonna tell you something. Like scientifically, like it's proven. Like, do you know which sport actually has one of the best cardiovascular systems?
Go on.
And it's Formula
Football.
1 and like no,
Formula
yeah,
1,
yeah,
for the G's.
Oh, this is where you two can talk because I know nothing about Formula 1.
I was watching an interview. I was watching an interview with regards to like a Le Mans racer, and they were saying that they're in a car driving over 200 miles an hour. It says you're up there at your heart rate for over 2 hours will be 200 plus beats per minute. He said, "You tell me any sport in the world where your heart rate is that high."
Where your body's requiring that constant level of thing off you.
And I watched an interview with Jensen. I think it was Jensen Button, and he was like describing this because someone was asking like why F1 drivers are getting paid the money they get paid. And he said, "Well, one, we're the top 20 drivers in the world. Like that's it. We're putting our lives on the line to race around the track."
Yeah.
And he said, "And you think about the forces that are being put onto our body when we race, because people think you just sat in a car, and that's it.
No.
It's like you're in a car, full acceleration from the green light." It's 3G pulling you that way, so it's 3 times your body weight. So if I'm 80 kilos, that's over 200 kilos pulling me backwards that way. Then you come into the first corner, it's a negative 3G, so it's a 6G swing. So it's now 400 plus kilos pulling me that way, and you've got to hold yourself in the car while you've got 20 other guys around you doing the same thing, and you're changing the gear ratios, the suspension things on the car.
Yeah, because it's not just what the things doing to your body inside the car as well. Each car being close to each other, like causes problem, like differences with the other car, like wind, downforce, everything. It's crazy what they've got. But people like dislocate shoulders turning corners in Formula 1 stuff and tear muscles, and it's ridiculous.
One of my favorite films is a film called Senna. Like Ayrton Senna's like one of my heroes.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
When you watch him win at Interlagos and you find out how he did it, like this is back in the old gear shifter days. Like his gear shifter, I think it locked in 5th gear. And so he had to keep the car at high revs in 5th gear, going on this track for the last 3 laps in first place. When he comes off, his entire body is in full muscle spasms. And like he passes out coming over the line. You hear him screaming and then he passes out. I'm just like, the pressure going through your body. Like when you race at Abu Dhabi, the drivers can lose up to 2 kilos of their own body weight in the race.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable.
Good work,
guys. It's just like
they're all waves. Yeah, have you seen Daniel Ricciardo and that? Like when you see him like after race and stuff, when they kept the like suits off and stuff like there's like camera cut to like in a no topper and he's shredded. Like
they're insane.
They're ripped. Lewis Hamilton's Instagram, it's like he's absolutely shredded.
One of the things I love about like Jensen Button is like he used to rock up and like do triathlons. I think Ironman competitions for fun.
Yeah,
and I think.
All right, love. I'm just gonna go out and do a triathlon.
I mean. Absolute madness. He actually, I think it was him who did a test against the Brownlee brothers, and on the bike he annihilated them. On the road running, he beat them. And it was only in the water where they get such enough of an advantage that they would win in the competition because he's not used to swimming open water and all that sort of stuff. He can't get his pace up. So they beat him there. But over 2 disciplines in a triathlete, he can beat the 2 best in the world.
Unbelievable.
I mean, what does that say about them as athletes? It's insane.
Wow. Right. So anyway,
no, it's one of those.
I know nothing about it.
Think about it really when you.
That was just like we're just in awe of their.
Yeah, right.
Mighty power.
Completely absorbed by it. That's it.
I just I absolutely just adore like looking into sports science and like reading about how various sports have created these.
It was only the other day when I saw you put something on Twitter, I think it was, or Facebook, and it was about Ayrton Senna. And it was only then when I saw that you were actually a Formula 1 fan. Because I had to bore in with it when for those that don't know, me and Sandro used to live together. When I lived with Sandro, it was like oh, Formula 1.
Good times.
Yawn.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Formula One and football.
No one to talk to about it. You're like sat at home. Like, yes, mate. You should have seen this.
Like one of the things I've always loved about F1, it's like it's not just the race, it's the tactics in the race. Just like you could have somebody in 4th place,
Yeah.
but you know the people in front of him have got to pit. It's like, okay, how long is their pit stop going to be? Are they going to be 20 seconds? If it's 20 seconds, this person's got an 18 seconds behind them. He's got overtaken the pit stop, but does his?
It
We need
changes
to all
race
go
as well.
go-karting. We need to all go go-karting.
You have tickets to go go-karting, Sandro.
I know, but we can't go now, can we? It's all shut.
Damn you, lockdown.
But yeah, we
Honestly,
should all go go-karting.
I think it'd be very interesting because if Dane comes, like Dane, how much do you weigh? Like you're like about 10
Well, I was
stone.
trying to 13
End of the day, if
stone.
you overtake me,
13
mate, if you overtake me, I'm just going to ram straight into you.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is in pounds or kilos. Or
It's
anything,
like-
but yeah, 13 stone.
Because go-karting weight really matters. It really matters.
Oh, I'll
Yeah.
lose then. I think I weigh 104 kilos at the minute.
To be fair,
I might not have to
Every
eat for
time-
about 3 weeks.
every time we've been go-karting before, or anything like that, every time we've done it, like, I can't drive, like, and I'm terrified of driving. So every time we go go-karting, I'm the one who's right into Formula 1, but I'm sat in the back like that. When everyone's like, phew, 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 like that.
I actually like to drive with that Ayrton Senna mentality. It's like a case of I'm going to let you decide if we have an accident or not.
Yeah, but you know me, lad. You know me, lad. I'll crash. I'll crash straight into you. I decide. Boom. All right then.
The thing is, I got a little bit annoyed. Like,
See how good your chicken is then.
I don't give a shit. I'll take you off the track.
Yeah, well, you normally go against people that'll pull away.
Mate,
I'll smash straight in here.
mate, Ayrton Senna won a world championship by crashing into somebody.
Yeah, and that's how I'm gonna win.
Like, honestly, like, what I found mad is like I made that. I think I put it on Facebook. Like, talk about Ayrton Senna because like it was May 2nd when he passed away at Imola. And I put it up and like some guy says, "Oh, are you too young to remember that?" I'm like,
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was just like, right, I'm half Brazilian. Yeah, I was 6 years old. I was 6 years old when it happened. But my mother, I'll never forget watching my mother cry when it happened. And I was just like, hey,
Remember when your mum cried when they were losing in football?
Let's not go into this.
When was it? That was
Brazil, Germany in the 2016 World Cup.
And I was sending you messages going, ah! And you were like, no, mate, please don't, because my mum's literally crying. Made my day.
Sandro, you're scared of my mother.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have to be there when
Are you
she's
sure
crying.
to antagonize her now? Because when you come over, she's going to remember this.
Yeah, I bet, yeah. Well.
But yeah, mate. I was watching that. I was just like, I mean, Ayrton Senna. He's a massive hero. He's a folk hero to the people of Brazil now. He's the only citizen to have been given a state funeral, like just a regular person to have been given a state funeral in Brazil. It's like what he did for the people is insane. He's a hero to people. You don't have to have been alive when Senna was racing as a Brazilian to love Ayrton Senna.
I don't know who he is.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
They just like so appalled at that.
I'm not interested. No, I have no idea who you're talking about. I've never paid attention to Formula One or like that. Or football.
It's like the Muhammad Ali Formula One. Like,
that's probably the best way to describe Ayrton Senna. The Muhammad Ali,
the revolutionary driver. The whole that's why, like in the Brazilian Grand Prix, like the Senna S is the best part of the track. It's like named after him. Lewis Hamilton's helmet is Ayrton Senna. Like that's all his design for his helmet and stuff. It's all Ayrton Senna. Like everyone who's ever loved Formula 1, it's sacrilege to not like Ayrton Senna.
This is right.
All right, I believe you.
Sandro, you can walk away for a second right now. Like, Dane, the Formula One World Championship. It's like, I like Lewis Hamilton, but there's one race where I really wished he didn't do it. I really wish he didn't win this one. When Barrichello comes across Interlagos, and he comes across the finish line as world champion, he's finished. He's done everything he needs to win the world championship. Hamilton is not going to win the world championship, but a driver pulls over, a Polish driver pulls over. Can't remember the name of that driver. Hamilton gets ahead of him and just sneaks that one point he needed to take the world championship. And you saw everybody in the Ferrari garage, all Brazilians going mental because Barrichello has not Barrichello. It's not Barrichello. Who was it? Oh, it's gonna do my head in now. Felipe Massa. Massa comes across the finish line. All Brazilians go mental. We've got another world champion, and it's robbed by Lewis Hamilton.
You turned your mic up, Dave.
Yeah, I was saying something. I clipped my screen. That's right. We're like Massa, and then nothing was happening. I'm like, Massa, hello.
How long have we been on this podcast today? When did we start?
I don't know, but I'm going to die in a minute.
Right, we'll call it here then, shall we? Thanks, Dane, for coming on.
No problem.
We'll
really enjoyed it.
We'll definitely have you on for another one at some point.
Oh, yeah, we've got lots to talk about.
Oh,
and you can
enjoyed it. Something new for it.
All right, so guys, remember, like as always, I want you to like this video, subscribe to this video, and yes, Sandro, ring the bell for notifications.
Yeah, I know what it is now. Don't worry.
All right, so I want you to ring the bell for notifications, guys. So this is it's been another episode of Godlike Jesters. It's going to be episode 5 of the Godlike Jesters. Releasing this episode whenever we do, and have a good one, guys.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Do come back and see another. Goodbye.